So, very good day everybody. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to another live stream. I am your personal funky scene pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko and I will be your captain for today's flight. And currently we are parked here in the city of Eindhoven in the Netherlands, in Europe. We are sitting inside of the PMDG 737-700 and we got the Ryanair livery, which you can download. I believe I got this from the flightsim.to website. We're about to do a short flight, relatively short, to Italy, to the city of Bologna. And it is we're flying real world weather and real world time and everything. Let me just double check on that in a little bit actually. So let's see what is the expected flight time for today's flight. So I haven't really checked. Really, it's about. Let me just check for you. So we're looking at a block time of 1 hour and 54 minutes. That's about a 2-hour flight. So let's get inside and let's get this thing going then. When I loaded up, actually it was still raining outside. It's still very windy, but it is not raining currently, which is a nice thing. Let's maybe start up the GSX menu there, and let's power up the aircraft, turn on the battery. And then immediately the first thing we do, align the ILS, so the aircraft knows where it is. This button, if you select it here, it will show you how long it will take, how much more minutes. It will start reading the number 8 in a little bit, so it's about 8 minutes. 9 minutes, there you go, for the Boeing to find out its position on the planet. You can hear the little alarm beeping, which means that we should now go for the request the ground power, because at the moment the aircraft is basically just draining the batteries. Battery discharge is happening like that. Okay, so the ground power unit, external power unit, has been made available to us now, so we switch over. The first thing, airplane wise, just turn on the logo lights and the anti-collision, and for now that will be fine. So just going to have a look now immediately at the well, let's first have a look at the planned fuel for today's flight. So as I said, we're in Eindhoven airport in the Netherlands. We'll be flying to Bologna in Italy. It's about a 1 hour and 50-minute flight, so more or less. And we're looking for a block fuel of about 5,000 kilograms. And then we got like final reserves of 900 kilograms. So around 5,000, so we're just going to take 6,000 kilograms of the fuel. Just so we have a little bit of extra in case we run into any problems or anything. So 6,000 put in here. The beautiful thing is, you know, just updates immediately, which is nice. But the GSX menu that you will see momentarily also offers some options, but I prefer it like this, so now we can just go ahead. Talking about GSX, let's just start it up.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Okay, so whining that the parking is too small for this aircraft, well, we're just going to ignore that. So we're going to request boarding.
Boarding requested.
And the GSX tool is actually pretty cool. See if we can also request the catering. And any day now would be real nice. Would greatly help out with the timing of the channel and the stream. Thank you very much, GSX. Alright, so while GSX is trying to catch up to reality, let's just carry on for a little bit. Alright, so we got fuel on the board. Let me just first do a little setup just to make our lives a little bit nicer. So just put up some panel lighting so we sort of see what we're doing when we're screwing up or when we're actually being geniuses. In either case, if it's too dark, there's no way for us to learn or to see what we've been doing, you know what I mean. Okay, so we're almost there then. And then here in the bottom bit of the center pedestal, put on the panel too bright, and let's also turn on the floodlight. It's not a very bright day outside, so we can probably use all the visibility inside that we can achieve. So let's give ourselves a squawk code, just random for a 737. Go to TA only for now, and then we turn on the radio thingies. So now for the flight plans, we'll look outside here. Anything happening? Doesn't look very exciting yet. Alright. So we return to the menu, FMC, we'll start that up. So you'll start on your ident page, so you can see here 737-700, that is the correct aircraft, and then the RX cycle is the current cycle, that's from March 23rd to April 20th of the year 23. And today's the 31st of March 23, so we got the correct cycle right there. Okay, so the airport for reference is Echo Hotel, which is Eindhoven Airport in the Netherlands. And then we're parked at gate Sierra 5, I believe it's called. So let's see, I'm not sure, does it recognize it as such? Yes, it does. So you just copy here on the soft key and then enter it here in the set IRS position. So basically we told the IRS from our end as well where we believe we are, and things should just all go up smoother than a baby's bottom from here. Okay, so we carry on. Position, initialization. Now for the route, you could enter the entire route here. I'm not going to do this. It is a Friday after all, so we click the request button and we click the PMDG button, and we look for the Echo Hotel to the Lima India Papa Echo, or in other words, LIPE. I believe it was on the. Oh no, it is. There you go. So we're flying to LIPE, which I don't know why, but if you ask me, LIPE, it's a funny sound. I don't know why. If you do know, or you have any idea, please let me know. But to me, LIPE, it just sounds funnier than but you know, that's just me. This is very personal. Anyway, so we select this. This is now being downloaded. Once it's downloaded, we can upload it into the FMC there, and then well, we're one step closer to heaven. Okay, so click the load button. It is now uploading. And then once it's done, we'll just click activate and execute. So there you go, activate and execute. So that the whole routing is in now. Before we carry on to the performance initialization, we are first going to make sure we got the right flight plan loaded in. Basically, we got the flight plan that we got from the SimBrief website, but that does not always include the departure and arrival. And we're not flying on the line, we're just flying off the line, so we're just going to follow the departure and arrival routes that SimBrief has created for us. This is happening off the screen at the moment. I'm just checking the PDF. So the departure runway is 21 via the Elno 6 kilo departure. So departure Elno 6 kilo. That's for the runway 21 and execute. And then you go back with the index button, and here you choose the LIPE arrival. And let's check in the flight plan here, the OFP. So we got the BENUS 3 Whiskey for runway 30. Alright, so runway ILS. Do I have an ILS for runway 30? They do. So let's go ahead and select this. Now I totally forgot they got the BENUS 3 Whiskey. So that's this one. Excuse me, this one. So we enter it, execute. So now we basically go to the next page and we check if there's any flight plan discontinuities in the list. We got 8 pages. So next page, number 2. So far it's looking fine. Looks like we're on our way to the heaven. Alright, okay, so that is all it. So for now, we're going to take is, so back to initialization. So we got the route in, we go to performance initialization. Alright, so for now usually I just click actually this, it always gets the 53.6 fuel weight. I haven't really looked into that yet, how this all works. If you can tell me, please do. I would always like to know. So we're taking with us block fuel, 6,000 kilograms, of which 0.9 will be the reserves. The cost index I forgot, so let me quickly have a look here in the flight plan is 52. Cruising altitude for today's flight is 290, so we're going to enter that right here, and then let's execute as well the cruise wind, getting this from the Simbrief OFP. Cruise wind is 263 at 47. 263 at 47. I believe traditional altitude for the Eindhoven airport is 3,000 feet. For now I'm going to enter this, but let's have a look at this later on, just so we're sure. So for the N1 limit, at the moment I'm more into just going full toga, so we're going to skip this page. So we're going to take off. We can take off flaps 5 for today's flight, center of gravity, it should take it from here. Now the runway remaining, I'm not really sure, so let's load up the charts here on the Navigraph, plugin, if you will. Okay, so what are we looking at? Let's have a look at the airport chart right here. Runway 21, heading is 213, elevation 66, length is 98. Okay, so we put in 98. 98 for the remaining runway length. Probably not super important, but you know, I guess it cannot hurt to help the aircraft out a little bit. Okay, so we got this in there. 135 for the V2. Let's putting this down. So 135 for the V2. Put this in here. Then was it 213? I believe it was the runway heading. Let's put that into the heading box right there. 213, and also for the course. 213. We got this set, and obviously for the pilot monitoring as well. So it's good to see that the weather has cleared up a little bit. I don't think it's fully clear here in Eindhoven, Netherlands, but and it looks like it's still pretty windy, but at least it's no longer raining. We're going to Italy. Hopefully the weather in Italy will be a little bit better. And as I said earlier, we are doing real world time and real world weather, so it could be interesting. So let's have a look at the departure route, because we need to put in a initial altitude there. So this is our departure. What was the sucker called again? The L06 Kilo. It's an RNAV departure. Basically, RNAV means it will just follow flight waypoints on a GPS system. So that's basically what it's doing. So there's no VORs involved. There is a VOR here, and it is mentioned, and there is a reference to it probably somewhere. But it is not a. It's basically just a GPS controlled takeoff, and the autopilot will simply just follow all these waypoints as they appear here on the chart. At least that's the idea, and if we program it in correctly. So we got a maximum speed constraint there of 220 knots at or above 3,000 feet at the Echo Hotel 562. We'll be taking off runway heading 213, and then after 3.0 DME from the Eindhoven VOR, you will take a left turn to a heading of 089 degrees, and so on. We will continue. So what you want to know is transitional to 3,000 feet. That's correct. And the first constraint in altitude 3,000. Well, I think it will be safe to just to just go a little bit higher. It's at 10,000 now, so let's just take that. So looks like that all is fine. Also, before we continue here, I think we're about ready to go in the taxi. Not sure actually, has the aircraft been boarded or anything? Okay, anyways, we're just going to take off anyway. So let's just get this sucker up and running. Turn on all the fuel pumps and the EO damper. Let's not forget about our EO damper. So APU is starting. EGT is coming alive. It will start increasing to around almost 10 there, and then slowly it will drop back and it should settle around, I believe, 2000. So not really sure, but we're just going to have a look at that. In the meantime, let's have a look here. This is fine for now for me. Let's arm the emergency exit lights, fasten seat belts, obviously. The engine start not yet. So the airport elevation was 66, so we can put it at 50 for now, and we'll be cruising at a flight level of 290. So let's put that in. However, this, for some reason, I don't know, it's probably me, but around 20,000 feet it starts beeping and failing, and I have to press this little button there to make the beeping go away. But the warning still remains, and so I'm not really sure. I haven't been able to find out if I'm doing wrong or if it's a bug. Obviously, the most likely chances that I'm simply not understanding it. So let's have a look at the AGT for the APU. So it's settling around, what is it, 4,000? So I guess that's fine. Let's also turn on the APU bleed. But more importantly, we're going to switch to APU power now. So now that we have switched to APU power, we can release the ground power. So the ground power is off there, and let's also release the ground power here from the MCDU. I'm calling it MCDU. That's actually not the correct term. It's, I believe, the MCDU is for the Airbus, but I believe it's the FMC. Anyway, where were we? So we got altitude 10,000 feet. So we got, let's see, yeah, let's just continue in the upper head panel here, the overhead panel. The hydraulic pump should go on. NTIs, we do not have to do that. Probe, we can turn those on. And the window heat. I guess we're almost good to go. Just want to reduce this just ever so slightly. Okay, so the yaw damper is on. Let's see, flight director on both sides, and then auto thrust armed as well. And I think we can probably start calling for a taxi, if I'm not mistaken. We just have a little sanity check here. Take over. So we got the takeoff speeds in here. It looks fine. 135. We got that here in the speed box there. Could maybe turn on the LNAV and the VNAV. We're not on autopilot just yet, obviously. And let's maybe reset the altitude. I cheat with the B button on the keyboard. Let's switch to hectopascal, since we are in the Netherlands. Okay, let's try the GSX menu and see if we can request a taxi or anything. I must say it does appear to be loading significantly longer than usual. So that's fine, we're not going to bother. We're going to shut it down. I do have a nice pushback helper. I believe that's the name, pushback helper. Look for it on flightsim.to. It's freeware. It's really simple, but very useful program. I have it on the screen now, but I believe it's not showing in the stream. So anyway, let's call a talk. There's a talk button right there. I also have this pushback, this other pushback thingy, but at the moment I prefer the simple one. Okay, so reverse or parking brake. So we're reversing. Since we are doing the pushback ourselves, I'm not going to start the engines just yet. Oh, the poor aircraft, I believe the wheel chocks are still in place. Oh no, they actually appear to be removed. So maybe it's just lagging. I saw this the other day as well. It looked really painful. Poor thing. I mean, come on, look at it. What is it doing? Just please, what if we sit inside? Nah, it just looks like it's, I don't know. It looks funky for sure, man. I can tell you that. Alright, so let's take a left turn. So the bottom turns to the left. And maybe we can, oh man, the stuttering, it's, it is quite intense, I must say. But it is getting our job done. That is, that's a positive thing. So let's stop it. Let's dismiss the tug. And set the parking brake. Because this looks rather concerning. Look at this. Okay, so the wheel brake does help at least. And the parking brake is set. Okay, so it was a little bit funky right there. My apologies. Hope you enjoyed the show. So let's start up the engines. I think everything should be fine. We could have started the timers when we started the pushback right there, but sure. Alright, so let's see if we can start up the engine number 1. So the N2 percentage will start to rise, and then around 20% we will administer a fuel injection, or I'm probably just totally like mis-explaining this. Let's have a look. So the fuel gets added there, and then we will start to see the N1 increase. Alright, sounds like engine number 1 has started. There you go. So let's start up engine number 2. And again, we check the N2 level there. $15, so around 20, we will add the fuel. So we got the Ryanair livery for today's flight then, from Eindhoven airport in the Netherlands to the city of Bologna in Italy. And I believe it's a flight that's actually supposed to be flying right now. I did use my standard flight number for the flight, but it is actually a flight that was supposed to fly about 1 hour ago. So we got successful engine start, both engines are running. So let's get ourselves ready to taxi then. Turn on the runway turn off lights and the taxi lights right there. And let's switch from the APU generator to the engine generators right here. We can turn off the APU generators and we can turn off the APU as well. APU bleed can be turned off also. So we're almost good to go. Let's set the auto brake to the RTL for rejected takeoff. in case we need to abort the takeoff. And the flap settings we said was going to be 5 degrees, so we're going to put it on 5. Sometimes it will say this: verify takeoff speeds 135 for the V2, and we got 124, 127 rotate, and V2 135. We need to trim for 5.53, so that's good actually to check that little message there. Excuse me. Okay, so 5.5. Well, it's a, as you can see, a fairly analog system, so this should do. So we got the flaps at 5 now, and we are trimmed for takeoff. We got the runway heading. We have LNAV, lateral navigation, which is your left and right, if you will. Vertical navigation, your up and down. And we got the V2 speed here, but it should actually follow the VNAV and yeah, basically the VNAV profile. Once we engage the autopilot, the flight directors were turned on. I believe we are ready to taxi. Let's maybe set the TEA transponder to TERA or the TCAS system. And as far as I'm concerned, we're good to taxi. So release the parking brakes. Oh, looks like they were released. I hope my boss does not find out. Okay, please disengage the parking brake, if you will. Okay, bear with me while I further degrade myself for the entire internet. Okay, so this is just my controller, if you can see that. The okay, so let's try this again. Okay, so we're stuck. I don't think we're going anywhere. Okay, let's see, because there was something with the app that I was just using, the pushback helper, and could be that this could help. Doesn't appear so. Alright, let's just give it one more try. There you go, it's off. Oh my goodness, man. Okay, sorry about that. So let's get taxiing. In the meantime, the crew in the background or in the cabin behind us is providing the safety instructions to the passengers. And look at that windsock there, man. Look at that. It is like pointing straight forward. There's some pretty interesting winds today in the Netherlands, I can tell you that. Because it's a very short taxi. We are here already. So let's slow down a bit and hold short here. I don't believe there is actually no, doesn't appear to be there is a marker there. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Cabin crew, take your seats for takeoff. We turn on the landing lights and the position strobe and ready. Quick sanity check, if there is such a thing still an option at this stage in my life, at this day. I guess this should probably all be fine. Reject the takeoff, and we got the flaps on the 5 settings. So let's just see if we are going to survive this. Okay, so it does look clear on the left. It does also look clear on the right, but oh my god, look at this. Okay, let's just get this solved. Oh, by the way, we are out of napkins, so I'm afraid, you know, right there you're going to have to use maybe like you have a lot of newspapers that you can use. Okay, so while we're making a total fool of ourselves here, or maybe to take some more responsibility and spotlight, I should probably say, well, to make a total utter fool out of myself right here. We're continuing on to line ourselves up with the runway 21 here on Eindhoven Airport. So it looks like we're ready to go. It was a little embarrassing display, but hopefully it was fun. Check the windsock again right there. It is pointing straight, man. It's some interesting wind. So let's see what's going to happen. After takeoff, around 3.0 nautical miles from the Eindhoven VOR behind us, we're going to take a left turn, and basically let's just see if we can, let's first just try to follow the flight directives. So as I said, we're going to do a full toga, and that's what we're doing now.
Airspeed alive.
So we got the 80 knots mark.
V1.
Rotate.
V2.
Okay, we got the positive rate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Okay, so we pitch down now a little bit. And we're reaching the flap up speed. Oh, we need to pitch down a little bit more. Check the speed. Speed's going down. Oh, it's potentially dangerous situation actually, man. Look at this. Okay, so we're reaching the transition altitude. Alright, so let's turn on the oh, there you go. We got the stick shaker. Okay, this is not my best takeoff in the books, but it is an exciting one. Alright, so we're actually a little bit below the flap speed and we have the flaps up already. So we just made a stupid mistake there. Let's go, standard QNH. We should be climbing to 10,000 feet. Got VNAV, LNAV requesting here, and the command button is on there. And let's see if the primary flight display is telling us what it is doing. And one lateral navigation, VNAV speed. Climbing with 4,300 feet per minute. Speed stable now to 20, which is fine. It's following the speed constraint right there. So that's actually very good. It's taking a little load out of our hands. Look, the weather up here is already getting nicer. So let's turn off the runway lights and the taxi lights. Put those on continuous, I believe. The cabin crew is released, or relieved if you will. We're going to keep the seatbelt signs on for a little bit. So we're reaching 10,000 feet, so we're going to go straight to our cruising altitude of 290. And we're still climbing, that's good. So let's have a look at the climbing page right here. The target speed is 307 knots, which we're not doing yet, but we're just passing 10,000. So now we have no longer the speed constraint of 250 knots. But let's see if the aircraft is following VNAV altitude. check the legs page here because I did not really have a very close look at the departure route. Echo Hotel 570, and we're on our way 3.300 miles from 562. Alright, so we might be getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. So 10,000 feet, holding there. And we got still 220 knots actually. Okay. Just have a look at the chart again here. Echo Hotel 562. Okay, so there we go. That's the speed constraint. Alright, that's fine. Nothing going on. I just want to go faster. But let's have a look outside. So the weather's definitely a little better here above the clouds. There is actually some sunlight there. Who would have thought the sun still existed when you were down there? Right, I can hear the engines going up there. Speed is going, that's good. We're at 93.2 and 1. If you check the climb page, it says the target and 1. Well, actually, yeah, so it's around 93. It's basically following the climb profile there for the vertical navigation. Target is 303 knots, but it's still not climbing. My apologies. Let's have a look. This might still be fine. Legs page. On our way to SOPOK, where we actually could be at 140. So this bit I'm not totally sure about. Let's have one more look again. SOPOK. Yeah, so for now I think I am going to do altitude intervent. And there you go. The vertical speed is now starting to climb. So it's good, so we're climbing. Turn off the rejected takeoff there on the auto brake. And we can also turn off the seatbelt signs and the landing lights as well. So today's flight does not really have any pre-programmed entertainment, but fortunately I am, after all, your personal funky scene pilot, so why don't we just get a little bit funky? I got an acoustic guitar right here, and sometimes it sounds a little bit like Okay, so there you go. It's just a little bit of modest but still extroverted live entertainment for the flight. Not very long, but I tend to prefer quality over quantity, you know what I mean. Although sometimes a creative use of quantity can actually be a qualitative thing. Anyway, let's have a look outside what things are doing here. We're definitely getting higher up, so that's always good when you're trying to go from A to B in a Boeing 737. So we're still following the flight plan. We're on our way to the Lima November Oscar, which is actually part of our SID, our standard instrument departure that we are following today. We're still at the target speed, around 303 knots, which you can see here on the climb page. It's now at 304. You can see the aircraft like to do that. Let's see what do we have? The next page, so Lima November Oscar. It's still 25 nautical miles out, so maybe we can reduce the or actually increase the range a little bit here on the navigational display, so we have a little bit more situational awareness. So we're looking at the left turn at some point for quite some distance. So there's 20,000 feet, 22,000 feet. There's the cabin altitude warning that I was telling you about earlier. So at least I can shut it up. And it has to do with the pressurization system. It looks like the cabin altitude is set to 10,000 feet, although it actually has been set here to 29,000 feet. It is in the auto mode, so as far as I understand, it's supposed to just follow the, I don't know what it is linked to. I could imagine probably it's linked to the VNAV system or something, but at least it's following something as far as I understand. But let me just start by saying I don't understand how the thing works. So it could be actually my mistake. I hope so, or at least, I mean, I hope to find out what it is, no matter what it is. But yeah, just as I find out, because I'm still really not certain. I know you can put it on manual control, and you can actually manually control the pressure in the cabin for the passengers. Because obviously it will be very unpleasant to them and potentially dangerous if this is not set correctly. Fortunately, we're flying in a simulator, so there's no real danger involved, but nonetheless, for immersion purposes, it's interesting, you know, to know, like, or well, actually more than just immersive purposes. It's just interesting to find out how that works. So that's something on my list that I will dive into a little, some more later, once I discover more. So let's have a look what we're doing here. We're still on our way to Lima November Oscar. It is now 12 nautical miles out, and let's have a look what would be our top of descent. I know we're not at the cruising altitude yet, but just out of interest. So 1437. So let's see, that looks 1437 Zulu, which is now 1343 Zulu. Oh yes, it's about 1 hour. Will be our top of descent. So we got the master caution light here, push to reset. This is actually just for the cabin altitude warning that we got there, and fortunately we were able to shut it up by pressing the button there, but the problem still looks to be still there. And there is a way I've been experimenting a little bit. I mean, I can show you, like, put it on manual and you can control the valve, but what it really does, you know, we're talking about the pressurization system, so it must have something to do with letting some air in and letting some air out. And closer up, I believe actually the last time I tried this, I put it on open. So I heard the klaxon there, so we're up around 280,000 feet, or flight level 280. We're about to level out at our cruising altitude of flight level 290. Let's go to the cruise page. Target speed for the cruise at flight level 290 is 0.766 Mach. The optimum, it was checking, it was recalculating. So the optimum is flight level 387, the maximum is 407. To top of descent is 1439 Zulu hours, and it's another 414 nautical miles. We got actual winds there, 253 at 29. I'm not sure how this works, why there's a different number here, slightly different than there is here. Fuel-LIPE remaining will be 2.2, so 2,200 kilograms, which is more than enough. So that's good. So now that we're at cruising altitude, we can obviously try and increase our speed. We have a crosswind at the moment from the right, but momentarily in about 30 nautical miles we'll be taking a left, more a left heading. Zoom out a little bit more for a little bit more situational awareness to see where we're going. So if we're looking at the winds, we'll be having a little bit of a tailwind here when we go left in about 10 nautical miles, but then basically we'll actually still be going to the south, or southeast, east, southeast, or southeast. Anyway, yeah, so we're still having actually a crosswind kind of situation there. Let's have a look. Well, let's just see what's going to happen. Well, let's just increase the speed. It's now at 7.65. Let's just go for 805. So basically 0.8 Mach. Execute. It will obviously start recalculating. Would still be arriving at around 1436 Zulu. So I don't know. It's probably not going to make too much of a difference, but maybe it will change it a little bit. So we could monitor it. At least we're already actually cruising anyway. We are getting somewhat closer to overspeed. It says here 8.1. And then with a tailwind, that's going to be asking for trouble. So we're going to go to 0.78, 0.785, just to keep the same sort of format there. So slightly reduced the requested speed. It's probably not a bad idea because we're going to be having a tailwind here for probably quite a while. We are, remember, all the way zoomed out from the navigational display, so let's zoom it in a little bit more. So there's 18 nautical miles, so that's quite a while to be flying near overspeed with a tailwind situation. So I guess this is more safe. And you know, not that safety is like my topmost concern when it comes to making serious considerations for a game like Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, the other day this is actually was pretty cool. I was flying the 737. I took off from Johannesburg Airport in South Africa, and uh-oh, looks like the program is crashing. That is such a shame, man. Well, at least the plane did not crash, but it does definitely look like the Flight Simulator crashed. I think I'm still here. Yeah, I can see that my voice. I'm so sorry, man. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm so sorry, but it looks like the the stupid flight sim just crashed. And I know it happens sometimes, but come on, it's such a shame when it happens on the stream, you know. And I must say, I'm not going to start it up again. You know, I'll just be back with something else later. So yeah, anyway, I'd just like to leave with this little upbeat music, and thank you very much for checking, because I definitely appreciate that. That's super nice, you know. But, you know, at the same time, you could have been, I don't know, going somewhere and meeting with someone really cute, you know. But anyway, so while we're jamming out here, so now I actually need a third hand to, no, not that. I need a third hand to turn off the stream, but I will do it myself. Alright man, thank you for checking, and see you next time.